just because I miss some of you so much, I didn't come prepared to do a video at all. Let me see what's going on. Orientation is locked. Oh, hang on. Okay, whoops, now I'm facing the wrong way. All right, so I guess I have to go this way, at least for now. Hi, my name is Dan. Maybe you know that. I am about 45 minutes from Charlotte, North Carolina, toward the mountains, but not anywhere close to the, well, very, very little hurricane damage here. I'm painting a wedding today out in this beautiful farm. You can see the trees in the field and the flowers behind me. Here's my easel, a couple umbrellas to keep the sun off the canvas. And I know the sound is quality. The sound is lousy. I'm not wearing a microphone. But here's one thing I've never done. I've never done a video of myself. Hang on. There we go. I've never done a video of myself where the camera is pointing at me instead of at the canvas. I'm not going to do this for long because it would be dreadfully boring, but I'll do it for a few minutes just so some of you can say hi and I can say hi to some of you. I'm painting a 24 by 36 canvas, starting out by doing an abstract painting, of course, as I always do. So I have here watercolor pastels, sort of. It's the best word for it. I'll show you what the marks that I'm making. I'll show you those in just a minute. But yeah, basically watercolor sticks. And I'm just making a bunch of marks. Hey, but while I do it, I thought I might talk a little bit about painting and about painting. Somebody already said hi. How about that? Hello, Zoki Zokic and Toby. Hey, Toby. I think I recognize your name. So let me show you what I just did. I just made these abstract squiggles. I'm going to take a spray bottle and spray the canvas. Those of you who are used to low quality, this won't bother you. The rest of you, this will drive you crazy. Sorry. This is a freebie, okay? I didn't even know I was going to do it. Okay, now I'm going to do... So, let me show you again the scene that I'm painting. Okay, beautiful, eh? Come here. Beautiful fall day. Oh, there's the dog running around. She's obviously part of the wedding. And there's the musicians. Where are they? There they are. The string trio warming up. So beautiful day. 78 degrees and breezy right now, so couldn't be any better. So some of you might know that I start all of my paintings. I've got big brushes in my hands right now. I start all of my paintings by making a big, crazy, loose, abstract painting. So again, to show you what I just did, I'm not going to show you every step of the way, but okay, that's what I just did. It took me 6.5 seconds, maybe. And some of you might say, well, why? Why are you doing that? Very good question. Very good, and not an obvious answer. That is not a stupid question. It's a very good question. Why am I doing that? Good question. Not an easy one to answer. not and excuse me, you're gonna have to look at my umbrella for just a second. Okay, there we go. So I had to move my phone out of the way. And somebody else is saying hi. Hey, Toby. Yeah, that's right. It won't be abstract for long. Very good. So I am going to talk a little bit. I'm doing wedding painting. I've been doing wedding paintings for about 15 years. And when I started, there were I've got pencils in my hand now. When I started, there were maybe 4 people, according to Google searches 15 years ago. There were about 4 people in the country that were doing wedding paintings. Now there are hundreds. And I'll start out by saying something good. Always a nice thing to do. I would say there has, in the last year even, there has been marked improvement on the quality coming out of the wedding painter world. So yay, if there's any wedding painters listening to this, way to go, you're getting better. And I mean absolutely sincerely, I've got a little butt coming, but not a huge butt, okay? Just a little one. And what I want to talk about will apply to all artists, whether you do wedding paintings or not. And what I want to talk about might be of interest to non-artists. I hope it is, because I know that not everybody who watches me is an artist. So I'm going to give you some classic Dan Nelson art class. Forgive me for a minute. I'm going to talk while I rinse out my brushes. You'll get a little bit of shaking. If you were to ask yourself the question, or I, as an artist, a lifelong artist, were to ask myself the question, which of course I have done many, many, many times over decades and decades and decades. Literally, I've been an artist for over 50 years. Literally. I started working professionally at age 18, and that was 52 years ago. So, yeah, I've been around. I ask myself, what is it that attracts the human eye to a piece of artwork? And I'm just going to limit it to this conversation to two-dimensional drawing, painting. All right? Good question? Of course it is. What is it? Oh, let me take just a second to show you what my painting looks like now. So it's just a hodgepodge. It's got black pencil lines, some thick white paint, and these wonderful colors. Oh, I'm gonna do one more thing, and I'll leave you pointing this way. I have here some watercolor pencils. This one's blue, and I have one more here that's red. There, good enough? Good enough. All right, back to my pontificating. Hello, Monique. How fun. Good to see you. Hello, Shalav. I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly. I am so sorry. I probably am not. Okay, what is it that draws the human eye to a piece of artwork? Let me turn you around so you can see my face again. My lovely face. And I have an answer to that question. It's 3 things. And I don't want this lecture to take forever, so let me not dwell too long. While I'm talking, I am picking up now again some fairly small brushes. I do paint with 2 hands, many of you know that. And I'm going to start sketching the scene before me. Deciding where to put that horizon. All right, 3 things that cause human beings to look at a piece of 2-dimensional artwork and go, boing, wow. All right, you ready for this? 3 things. 1, and I'll start with the easiest one. Realism, similitude, accuracy, good drawing, all of those words, that's all the same thing. Human beings, and this is contrary to what most art critics have shouted and screamed at us for the last 130 years, contrary to the art critics, because they're just wrong about this. Human beings, ordinary human beings, not human beings with MFA, Master of Fine Arts degrees, not those human beings. They've been clearly corrected. Ordinary human beings get a kick out of seeing something that an artist has rendered or drawn. Like if an artist sits down to do a painting of a cow, some of you will recognize my old tropes. That's an old trope, painting a cow. If an artist sits down to do a painting of a cow, the viewer of that painting gets a little drop of joy juice, bzing, gets released into their brain if they in fact see cowness on the canvas. In other words, if it looks like a cow, something, and this is very strange, very, very, very strange. And again, contrary to what modern art weirdos, I like abstract art, by the way. That's another story. We'll get to that in a minute. This is one of the things that human beings like. They like, if the artist set out to paint a cow, the viewer gets a kick out of it if they see similitude to a cow. If they see, wow, that looks like a cow. Now that can come in all different, it can be extreme similitude, like hyper realism. Every hair, everything is painted, every highlight and flick and shadow is painted, every flea is painted. Yeah, there's that kind of realism. And indeed, human beings, unless they have a Master of Fine Arts degree, in which case they're disqualified from being called a regular human being, every human being gets a little kick, a little drop of joy juice gets released into their brain when they see cowness. Okay, that's number one. What? I like the word similitude best. There is a high degree of correspondence between the object the artist is rendering and the painting that the artist has rendered. That's number one, okay? Number two, not necessarily in this order. So there's three things that make a painting or a drawing beautiful. Number two is what I call a history of human movement. Give me just a minute. I'm going to turn around so you can see. So I'm already drawing. You can see this green line that indicates the top of the tree line, which is over there. And you can see these orange and red verticals that represent the chairs that people are going to be sitting in. Bride and groom, of course, are going to be right here. And I'm going to add a tree that's actually behind me. There you go. That tree, not from this angle, but I have a photograph of the tree I'll be using. And so I'll keep going here. So the second thing, let me see. Suggestive. That's a good word, Toby. Suggestive. And Toby, you've very good question. Yes, very much so. Has my left hand, my weak hand, gained facility over the years? And the answer is an emphatic yes. Absolutely. My weak hand has developed much more. In fact, I look at some of my early videos from 10, 15, 12, 15 years ago, where I was fairly new at painting with two hands, and I kind of groan at myself a little bit. It's like, ooh, get that left hand up there. I was using it, but not nearly as much as I am now. So thank you. That's a very good question. I paint with two hands, by the way. Some is what Toby is referencing there. Okay, so the second thing, number one is the painting is suggestive of, to use Toby's word, sure, that's fine, of the image. Number two, human beings get a kick out of seeing a history of human movement. That is, they can look at the canvas or the paper drawing, and they can see that an artist with their hand took a tool like a brush, dipped it in, and went like this. That's the sound. No, every right? Human beings get a kick out of seeing, oh, I can see that a human being like myself was here and made this mark. Very often that you can tell whether it was the artist made that mark with their left or right hand even. That's interesting, isn't it? Hang on, I'm gonna that's all you guys need is a close-up of my schnoz. I'm gonna paint with one hand for a minute because I can't paint with the phone in the way. I am, by the way, I'm doing local color right now. This is sort of what you tell beginner painters not to do. Don't paint the green grass green. But in this case, I'm painting it electric green. This is all underpainting. Okay, so does that make sense? That the human eye likes to see, and I think it's very, very deep psychologically, when we recognize that a fellow human being took their arm, very much like we have an arm or a hand, and they held a brush, yea, so, in this manner. Like that, water dripping off that. And they made a mark in this manner. We get a kick out of seeing that. We do. All right. Then number 3, and I'm going to end this broadcast fairly soon because I need to work. But this is fun. I'm glad I did a little bit. Number 3. Human beings like to see on their paintings or drawings, they like to see interesting shapes. Where's my fingers? Interesting shapes, interesting lines, line, shape, interesting composition, interesting color and texture. Line, shape, design, value. Oh, and values. I always say line, shape, design, value, color, texture. All right. Line, shape, color, design, value, texture. Line, shape, color, design, value, texture. 6 things. And any of you who have ever taken even a middle school, junior high, or high school art class are familiar. Those are the principles. No, the elements. Those are the elements of design. So here's what I would like to say to my fellow wedding painters, many of whom are getting better. Way to go. Most of them are focusing on and getting better. Way to go. On similitude. You're getting better at drawing realistic images. The biggest need in the wedding painting industry is to discover history of human movement in line, shape, color, design, value, texture, the elements of design. I could lecture, and with examples I have done so many times, for 2 hours on this, and I won't. But it isn't enough to have a painting that shows the picture. In fact, I call that kind of painting, and there's nothing wrong with super realistic painting. I do some of it sometimes, for sure, for fun. In fact, in my wedding paintings, the bride and the faces of the bride and groom will be super realistic. I will work very hard and take a long time to get their faces perfect. But a good painting and a good picture are not the same thing. And I contend that a good picture often has a short shelf life, but a good painting will never grow old, because it's the color, the shapes, the lines, the texture, the values, and the composition design that gives it an eternal quality that will never go out of style. Beautiful combinations of colors never go out of style. Beautiful texture never goes out of style. Beautiful color, line, shape, composition never will go out of style. Pictures of things will go out of style. And again, when I give this lecture for real, I actually give you examples of paintings that have not aged well. I held one up to my daughter several years ago, and she said, "Ooh, Goodwill." She was talking about, in America we have this thrift store thing where, people, you can take your junk and they sell it to poor people. It's wonderful. But to her, this painting looked like something you would buy for $1 at Goodwill. And because it was done in the 50s, and indeed, the artist focused on picture, not line, shape, color, design. All right, I'm going to stop pontificating and get to work. Let me see what else comments you guys have left. Tony Alderman, good to see you, man. What fun. And Toby, an intelligent market for brushes, a million things I want to describe things. Exact. All right, excellent. Toby, waxing poetic on that. That's exactly right. Yeah, and it's hard to describe. It's easier to demonstrate what is a good mark than it is to describe it. Anyway, let me show you while we're finishing here. I'll just show you quickly where my painting is at. Sorry for the bad grammar, but everybody uses it. There we go. So I do wild and crazy colors and wild and crazy marks underneath my painting, and I don't know which of these crazy marks is going to show up in the final painting. Therefore, it behooves me to make sure that every mark is interesting, that there's good energy in every single mark, because I don't know. I'll pick on one. Let's pick on this one right here, right there. I have no idea if that mark is going to end up in the final painting up in the sky there. But I kind of hope it does, because it's got a really good energy to it. And I would like to say that of all the marks on the canvas. Isn't that fun? Crazy, huh? All right, thanks guys for watching. I always hope to do more broadcasting than I'm doing. I'm very busy these days. Playing music, writing 3 books, and painting. Good to see you. I'll be back again, I hope, soon.